The terrible murder of Junko Furuta, who lived 44 days in hell. Junko Furuta was born in Misato, Japan. She was a good student in high school with high grades and very infrequent absences. She used to work part-time jobs to help her family. Junko was a good-looking teenager who enjoyed a lot of attention and that made some of the people around her jealous. Furuta was everything a parent could want. Neither did she smoke nor did drugs and was good in her studies too. But for the one of the bully of the school, it didn't sit well. Hiroshi Miyano, the school bully, had a crush on Junko Furuta, but Furuta was not looking for a relationship, so she turned him down. Hiroshi was involved with gangsters outside the school, and nobody in the school had the nerve to even oppose him, but Furuta told him no. Miyano was not only the school bully, but a known affiliate of the Yakuza. Yakuza are essentially the gangsters of Japan, a huge crime organization known countrywide for their ruthlessness. One day, Junko Furuta was biking home from her part-time job when a random boy assaulted her. A classmate named Hiroshi Miyano happened to be across the street during this encounter. He offered to walk Furuta home after the assailant ran away. Furuta didn't realize at the time the whole thing was staged. Miyano told his friend Misato to kick her bicycle and then ran away. Misato did as he was told. Miyano, who was standing there, pretended it was a coincidence that he witnessed the attack and approached her and offered her a ride home. She didn't know that Miyano and his friends, Kamisako Jo, Nobuharu Minato, and Yasushi Watanabe had plans to abduct and rape her. Miyano took Junko to a nearby warehouse and raped her. He also told her about his connection with local gang Yakuza and threatened to kill her. Miyano took Junko to a hotel and raped her again. From the hotel, he called his friends Nobuharu and Watanabe and bragged them about how he raped her. Nobuharu told him to keep Furuta in his captivity in order to allow them to sexually assault her. Local gang Yakuza had a history of gang rape and had recently kidnapped and raped another girl who was released afterward. Around 3 a.m., Miyano took Furuta to a park where his friends were waiting. They learned about her home address and threatened to kill her family if she tried to escape. They took her to one of the boys' house. 2 days after her disappearance, Junko Furuta's parents contacted the police about their daughter's disappearance. But in order to stop the investigation by police, Furuta's captors forced her to call her mom and tell them that she had run away and now she's staying with her friend and she is safe. They decided to hide Furuta in Minato's basement and invite an unthinkable amount of men to continue the assault. When Minato's parents visited him, they forced Furuta to pose as the girlfriend of one of the kidnappers. However, after certain visits to the house, it became apparent that Furuta was not someone's girlfriend. She was a captor. The parents did nothing in fear because Hiroshi Miyano was known very well for his connections with the Yakuza. Along with the parents, Minato's brother was also aware of the situation but decided to do nothing about it. Junko's next 44 days were filled with unimaginable pain. This final torture lasted for a time of 2 hours. Junko Furuta died later that day, in pain and alone. Nothing could compare 44 days of suffering she had go through. In order to get rid of Junko's body, the boys put her corpse in a 44-gallon drum, filled it with cement, and dumped it in Tokyo. Hiroshi Miyano and Kamizako Jo were arrested on January 23, 1989 for the gang rape of a 19-year-old woman. March 29, when 2 police officers came to interrogate them as they found a woman's underwear in their home. They confessed to the crimes against Furuta. Miyano told the police where to find Furuta's body. When her mother heard the news and details of what happened to her daughter, she passed out. She had to undergo a psychiatric outpatient treatment. The police found the drum containing Furuta's body the next day. Her body was identified via fingerprints. And on April 1, 1989, Kamizako Jo was arrested for a separate sexual assault and subsequently re-arrested for Furuta's murder. The arrest of Yasushi Watanabe, Nobuharu Minato, and Minato's brother followed. The leader of the crime, Hiroshi Miyano, was sentenced to 17 years in prison. He later appealed his sentence, but Tokyo High Court sentenced him to an additional 3 years in prison. The same judge also increased the sentence for 2 more boys who appealed. Hiroshi's mother reportedly sent Furuta's parents 50 million yen after selling their family home. Despite the severity of the crime, the boys had been underage at the time it was committed and received a comparatively light sentence. Hiroshi was sentenced to 20 years in jail and was released by his late 30s. The other 3 served only 7 years with protected identities. There are many who believe this story is a hoax, and Junko Furuta hadn't gone through the suffering, but sadly, the horrible crime definitely happened.